Yes, good afternoon. Welcome to another daily dose of Satoshi's news. Today's day is Tuesday, the 31st of October 2023, the year of BSV. Buy BSV.live, the best place to buy Bitcoin SV online, the original protocol and genuine Bitcoin. And you might be able to tell by my voice as to why I am so excited about today. And that is because today is the release of the Bitcoin white paper, the birthday of the birth of Bitcoin. Absolutely sensational stuff. So we're literally just going to go through a little bit of history here because this just absolutely blows my mind when you think about the adventure that this one single email created and what it's morphed into and the people that it's brought together, the people it's driven apart, the arguments and everything that it's created, the hornet's nest, which we'll come to in a later episode. My goodness me. So literally, this is the email that birthed everything. This is it. This was the email. Bitcoin, a peer-to-peer electronic cash paper. And this was released by Satoshi Nakamoto, and the email that it was from was satoshi@vistomail.com, and it's got here Friday, October 31st at 10 past 2, and that EDT is Eastern Daylight Time, 2008. So Eastern Daylight Time is like that would be 10 past 6 Universal Time Coordinated UTC. It just blows my mind, and this one of the first and most famous message of all that Satoshi wrote. I've been working on a new electronic cash system that's fully peer-to-peer with no trusted third party. The paper is available at bitcoin.org. And then we've got the main properties here. So this bit isn't actually in the white paper itself, so we'll go over it. So it says the main properties. Double spending is prevented with a peer-to-peer network. No mint or other trusted parties. Participants can be anonymous. So again, we now know that it's a private network, but again, Craig was quite young when he first released this. New coins are made from Hashcash style proof of work. The proof of work for new coin generation also powers the network to prevent double spending. Just sensational stuff. Sensational stuff. And then we've got the part of the Bitcoin white paper here. So let's first of all investigate. Oh, should we investigate this email? Oh no, it's got to be Satoshi Nakamoto. It's got to be Satoshi Nakamoto. And what have I got here? There it is. Look at this. Look at this. This was Satoshi Nakamoto's profile on the P2P Foundation. This was it. He was claiming to be a 34-year-old male from Japan. I mean, it just blows my mind. This was his profile that he used back in the day after all this stuff kicked off. Absolutely amazing. And again, his identity will remain a mystery right up until this very day. Well, until January next year. How ironic that the network would start on the 3rd of January 2009, and we've got this court case again in January coming up. The largest court case in financial history, where we will uncover the identity of Satoshi Nakamoto himself. Because right up until today, his identity has remained a mystery, apart from those who obviously know it, like we know it. But all those other shitcoins don't want to know it, and they're in denial about it. But as Craig said, that's their problem. Oh, my goodness me. It blows my mind. Absolutely blows my mind. So yeah, this was the start of it. And we've just seen his profile, and we've just know that he's a pseudonymous character. And the reason that he chose a pseudonymous character was because we now know that the start of the network had to be commoditized. Now, in order for a network to be a commoditized network, at some point, total control of the network would have to be relinquished. And this was it. It happened right at the start. Because in this white paper was all the information that anybody would need to start the network themselves. But he knew that it was really important that he start the network himself under a pseudonym, so the network grew without any central point of authority, control, or influence. And the reason they released it on the 31st of October, which is Halloween, is to give himself the best chance of providing a reasonable amount of time for anyone and everyone to start the network themselves, but still being able to start it himself. Because Halloween is an added distraction, and a reasonable amount of time is 2 months, and the 2 busiest months of the year are the festive period, which is November and December. But that doesn't detract away from the fact that 2 months reasonable notice and time had been provided for anyone and everyone to start the network themselves. And again, this was released to a cryptographic mailer. There we go, look, down the bottom here. It literally says, the cryptography mailing list. Down the bottom. Released to a group of people who would have been highly competent and understood the significance of the information that they were reading, public and private keys and SHA-256 and all that stuff. Just absolutely sensational. Sensational. So, going back to the email here. So we've got Satoshi at vistomail.com. What do we have? Check it out. Check it out. So it says here, this is the source of Vistomail and the registration of the domain bitcoin.org. There we go. And as he said, what you don't realise yet is that I used my credit card. Yes, as crazy as it might seem to you, I used my credit card to purchase anonymous services. I even claimed it on my tax. I had an argument with the tax office in Australia about claiming it. Probably because they didn't want to. But just amazing. So there we go. So he's bought the domain name bitcoin.org, used the email, and this is now what we've got. Check it out. The birth of the Bitcoin white paper being released on the 31st of October 2008. What a glorious day. What a glorious day. Absolutely sensational stuff. Literally, my mind is just buzzing when I think about everything that's happened since the release of this. Like, my goodness me. And something else that's funny again, so we've got the Bitcoin white paper being released on the 31st of October 2008. And this is why Craig is often referred to as Pumpkin Man Craig. So anybody who's been in this space for a long time, with the ups and downs and trials and tribulations and everything that we've had, Pumpkin Man Craig was something that came out at a conference in London where somebody accused him of being Pumpkin Man Craig and all that. But again, I was just like, Pumpkin Man Craig. Well, actually, the white paper was released on the 31st of October, which is Halloween. So in actual fact, we can call him Pumpkin Man Craig. Or as they says here, Pumpkin Craig Bad. Oh my goodness me, cracks me up. But this is it. This is now the link to the white paper on craigwright.net. So how many pages is this? Look at that. It's official. It is 9 pages. So the 9-page just simply being the references. So it's actually 8 pages, but 9 if you include the references. Just sensational stuff. So let's just have a quick look at what we've actually got in the references here. Who did it reference? Let's have a look. So I know Adam Marcellot, Wei Dai, B Money referenced, H. Macias, designer of secure timestamping services with minimal trust required. It's referenced S. Harbour, WS Stornetta, D. Bayer, S. Harbour, WS Stornetta. Wow, there's lots of and A. Back. So that was Adam Back. So again, we now know he's nefarious. But he's referenced in there. I think nobody else was really interested in sticking their beak in. But he's the only one out of all of these that's actually stuck his beak in. And now people are thinking, oh, you're Satoshi Nakamoto. No, mate, you are not. Just because you are referenced in it. W fella. Oh my goodness me. Oh my goodness me. So again, as you go through this white paper, actually there were some bits that when I read this, because I was looking for Craigisms to start with when I was kind of like researching it. I was just like, there has to be something about Craig in there. And the first thing I spotted was transactions. So it says something about, it's something like we don't care about double spend. There we go. Got it. There are quite a few of these in here. So it says here, we need a way for the payee to know that the previous owners did not sign any earlier transactions. For our purposes, the earliest transaction is the one that counts. So we don't care about later attempts to double spend. Again, using the word we, so this is why the powers that be have spun the narrative saying, oh, we think it might be a group of people. But who says so we don't care? So it's not like, oh, so therefore double spends are irrelevant, therefore double spends don't need to be worried about, blah, blah. Like, oh, we don't care. Well, that is Craig all over it. And there are quite a few other Craigisms in here that I actually found sort of quite amusing. I was just like, there is nobody else that wrote this besides Craig. We don't care about double spends. Oh my goodness me, it cracks me up. But hidden within the white paper is this, the protocol itself, in all of its glory. So people get confused about what the protocol is. So the protocol is like the rule set. It's the digital foundation that the network is actually built upon. But this is it. These are the points of the protocol, and it's obviously the technical aspects of these that people get confused about. But so long as these never change, this is the protocol. And I don't know anybody else that has outlined it other than me, so I'll take credit for this. So there are structural parts of the protocol. The protocol has to be economically competitive, because without competition you simply get collusion and centralization. And the network has to produce common accountability, so that every user is commonly and equally accountable to one another, rather than a centralized third party that can make changes to the protocol without anybody else knowing. And that's why the chain of signatures is so important. Then in terms of the dynamic of the network, there must be a locked protocol so no one can change it and therefore no one controls it. There must be unbounded capacity so that limitations can't be manufactured and the network not be manipulated. And finally, there must be a fixed token supply so that no one controls it. It's therefore common to everybody and it can't be inflated or deflated. And if you look through the white paper, you will find these hidden indirectly amongst the wording, which I've outlined in this piece here. So as it's the birth of the white paper, we'll just go through it quickly. So we've got number one, element, economic competition, hidden location in the Bitcoin white paper, in the abstract. The sentence, it says, nodes can leave and rejoin the network at will. And the only way they can leave and rejoin the network at will is if the network is competitive. So they can drop out and join whenever they want. There is no collusion there with other entities relying on them. So that's economic competition. And then we got element, common accountability, hidden location in the white paper, section 2, transactions, sentence, we define an electronic coin as a chain of digital signatures. So, but that's actually a chain of digital signatures. That's where the common accountability is. Element 3, a locked protocol, hidden location in the Bitcoin white paper, section 6, incentives. In the sentence it says, we ought to find it more profitable to play by the rules. So in other words, we don't change the rules. Such rules that favour him with more new coins than everyone else combined, than to undermine the system and the validity of his own wealth. So in other words, the validity of the wealth of his own coins and what they actually mean. So playing by the rules, you just need to stick. So it's an economic model, because if you change the rules, then you remove all economic value from all of the tokens that you've already got. So there's literally no point in it. Number 4, unbounded scale, hidden location in the white paper under section 6, incentives. In the sentence, the incentive can transition entirely toward transaction fees and be completely inflation free. So in other words, to be an entirely transition to an entirely the incentive can transition entirely to transaction fees. You effectively have to have unbounded capacity, because if there is a bounded capacity, then it means that the fees that you can earn are limited and restricted. At the moment, the block reward is fixed, so people are just like, oh, well, it doesn't matter if the network is capped. Well, at the beginning it didn't matter, but now it does, because you need effectively fees to be, for want of a better word, infinite, or unbounded. Actually, yeah, is a better word. Thank you for that correction there, Ruth Heisman. And number 5, fixed asset supply, hidden location in the Bitcoin white paper under section 6, incentives. So the sentence, once a predetermined number of coins have entered circulation, the incentive can transition entirely to transaction fees and be completely inflation free. So there we go, completely inflation free. So that's why we need a fixed asset supply. Just sensational stuff there. Sensational stuff there. So moving on, this is Bitcoin's economic distribution model. So again, we started off on the 3rd of January 2009 at 50 Bitcoins, and then it gets cut in half every 210,000 blocks. Each block being created on average every 10 minutes, which brings you to almost exactly 4 years. Cut in half, 50, 25, 12.5. We're currently at 6.25. And then April next year, it will be cut down to 3.12. That is going to be mega. So with this being such a remarkable day, what I'm actually starting now, and I would like your help with this, I'm going to start 365 days of Bitcoin history. Starting from today, I've actually already put sort of 29th of October and 30th of October, but we're now 31st. This was the release of the white paper, so I'm gonna commit to this. So on this day, the pseudonymous author of the Bitcoin white paper, Satoshi Nakamoto, plagiarized Craig Wright's work from his paper for Northumbria University in the publication of the Bitcoin white paper, using the exact sentence structure. A purely peer-to-peer version of electronic cash would allow online payments to be sent directly from one party to another without going through a. And we can reference this here. There we go. There, without going through a. And he used a financial institution that was slightly different in his other paper. But that was it. That was it. And then also on this day, on the 31st of October, 2019, Luke Dash Jr. posted out on Twitter, mining is not supposed to be profitable. Again, this is just the powers that be trying to spin the narrative. What a fool. He said miners are supposed to be people who mine because they have an interest in Bitcoin working securely. Really, is that it? Mining is actually really expensive. That doesn't require a fee, market, or subsidy. Mining is not supposed to be profitable. If ever you want to hear bullshit, that is it. Absolute utter bullshit. Totally nefarious. It has to be an economically competitive system. What he's talking about there is communism, centralization, which again, the powers that be are promoting. They're talking about stakeholder capital, stakeholder ownership. No, you need economic competition. So we've got Bitcoin, which is capitalist, and then we've got the nefarious entities like Luke Dash Jr. promoting communism, saying, "Oh, it's not meant to be profitable. You're just meant to do it because you're for the good of the people." Whatever, absolutely outrageous. But I think that should be a really fun project. And just to show you what I have done so far, check this out. So, on this, I have got, sort of like starting from the top here, 3rd of January, 2009, so I'm starting it sort of beginning of the year. I've got... Look at all these events. It goes right the way down to 23rd of December. And 108 points listed so far. Some really funny ones in here. I remember now on the 5th of December 2019, Samsung Mao said, "You versus the guy she tells you not to worry about" meme. That was him hugging some geeky board game. And his girlfriend was down the gym. Some muscle man. But it's all fun and games. So if you would like to help me complete this, so it just means that we can mention something every day about Bitcoin. These are the dates that I've got missing that I need something for. So if you want to screenshot this or pause the video and help out, just something, because there is always something going on. And if we do get all of these dates filled out, literally there is 365 days of non-stop entertainment that we can report on. I think that would be absolutely hilarious in my book. Oh, it's a 19-minute show. There we go. So this is actually one of the biggest dates in Bitcoin history that is coming up. Again, one of the big dates, as in including today. But this is the Cabal, masquerading as COPA, the Crypto Open Patent Alliance, versus Craig Wright, the inventor and creator of Bitcoin, on the 15th of January 2024. So stay tuned and we'll bring you more. And until then, be aware, take care, stay safe out there, and we'll see you in the next one.